All right. Generating canonical URLs without HTML. You die. Not going to do you. Working on random day stuff. Well, I'm not actually anymore. I'm going to delete that. Quick union slower. This is help. Why isn't there string reverse? We covered that. That's a thread that was already there. Oh, thanks for the follow, Infinity Labs. Appreciate that. JSON parser. This is probably one of the... Yep. Oh no, it's a Pandoc one. Okay, well, we'll skip you. That's a support thing. Sometimes I might actually open the support ones on stream. But perhaps not during news, but I'll organize them so that if somebody else has the same problem, we can go on with that. All right, so here we go. Proposal error handling with else catch. That was the one we talked about this morning. Here's some more news. So more Google Linux news. It comes in all the time. It's pretty hard to keep up with how fast it comes in. VirtualBox shared folder drive seeks inclusion in Linux 5.6. Interesting. So that looks like we might actually have VirtualBox included in Linux 5.6. That's definitely newsworthy. That's the Phoronix blog. They're really good. I gotta make sure. I'm gonna bookmark this one. So that is good news. That's worth reading the news for, right? Sounds like this might be a blog where we just read the whole blog every week because they're really tuned in. And of course, two of the hits here are for them. This one about Amazon Echo we already read this morning. 5 best Linux desktop environments for 2020. You know, it's clickbait, but whatever. I'm gonna go through that. Here we go. Come on, graphics. I know you can do it. And then you show me a Mac. Are you kidding me? Would you really? Why would you show me a Mac? Okay, they got Linux over here and they got a Mac over here. Why would you have that be your lead-in? What company is this? WebWriter Spotlight. Oh, no kidding. Web people. That's web people. All right. Well, a desktop is a visual component of Linux OS. Best Linux desktop. So are you a Mac user searching for the best Linux desktop? Because there's a lot of those right now. GNOME, Cinnamon Mate. Oh, duh. Okay. So this is definitely not for us. This is for others. But if you don't know about desktop environments, maybe you would enjoy the WebWriter Spotlight. So no, pass, not reading that. Someday we'll go do our own desktop comparison. I'll do one, but not right now. Let's see. Linus Torvalds just made a big optimization to help code compilation times on big CPUs. Holy cow, Phoronix. We're going to have to get you in here. I hope you don't, sue me for reading your news on stream. This is cool. GNU Make. I do know GNU Make. He replaced GNU Make. What's going on here? The parallel, just so you know, GNU Make is how we've been compiling C code since the dawn of time. And it's still used for lots of other things. Some people even use it for web development. You can use it for Pandoc builds. If you don't know what Make is, its value proposition is that it it only runs code if the thing that each rule is pointing to has changed. So if it's a great way of only recompiling things that need to be built, and it was created in a time when that was needed because any extra compilation would slow down the whole entire process, and you would never want to do that. So especially back then. But these days, when you have like right here this Threadripper 64 core 128 thread CPU, we're not in those days anymore. So this says the parallel build times are about to be a lot faster beginning with Linux 5.6 for large core count systems. Well, this is phenomenal. Is it Make that they improved? Linus Torvalds himself changed around the kernel's pipe code to use exclusive weights when reading or writing. While this doesn't mean much for traditional common piping of data, the GNU Make job server, this is interesting, is a big benefactor as it relies upon a pipe for limiting the parallelism. That's very cool. This technique, though employed by the GNU Make job server, is inefficient in today's high core count CPUs, as all are spawned processes and woken up rather than a single reader to be woken up upon a writer's release. Wow. In the simplified case, written by Linus Torvalds, this patch causes a number of context switches on the test program to drop from 11 to just 1.2 million, 11 million to 1.2 million. The consumed system time was also, man, this is great news. This means that C and everything in C is going to compile much, much faster. The fact that it's a job server makes me interested, though, because generally speaking, GNU Make doesn't have a job server. I'm unaware of that. So that sounds like there might be a daemon or a server somewhere running in there that can do parallelism, or, or concurrency, which are not the same thing. We'll have a thing on that some other time. This is super cool. I mean, this is really, Phoronix, hey, Michael, shout out to you. Thanks for writing this stuff up. This is great. We're going to be frequently coming by your place, obviously. So that's good news. That, another piece of news that was worth, bearing with me and going through the news one line at a time. That's the only way you can get the good stuff. So CPUs from 2004 against AMD's new 64 Cred Threadripper. So yet another post on the Threadripper and the huge core CPUs. Yet another reason to learn Go, which has the best concurrency of any programming language on the planet right now, and I can prove that. Intel's Cloud Hypervisor 0.5 released with Kata container support. Interesting. That's a different container. I've been meaning to study Kata. It's written, oh my God, it's written in, this Phoronix guy, he knows what he's doing here. Intel open source cloud hypervisor as a Rust-lang written hypervisor. Oh my God. Again, worth reading the news. You seeing this, people? They've written a hypervisor in Rust. Kata is a container system. We'll come back to that, but let's spend some time on this. They have just written a hypervisor in Rust. And, Brian Cantrell with his sort of semi-famous, it's one of my favorite videos about whether it's time to rewrite the operating system in Rust. And he concludes, no, C is still the most efficient, but there's lots and lots of stuff at the operating system level that could be rewritten in Rust. And this is damn good proof of that. Look at this, a cloud hypervisor written in Rust. So if you're not learning Rust and I have to catch up, we're behind. Okay, right here we go. First up, Cloud Hypervisor 0.5 now integrates support for Kata containers, and I think Kata is a completely independent thing from Docker. I'm relatively new to it. I know the name and that it's a container system, and that's about it. Kata containers will primarily contribute clear containers with hyper.sh runv. The resulting project provides a set of repositories that combine to provide an OCI compatible runtime. That provides the best of virtual machines and containers. Oh my God. Wow, I need to take a note. I'm going to take a README right now. You can do that with me if you want to take some time. I suggest you, spend some time, maybe take some notes with me. I mean, I might as well, so, because I'm going to take them. It's going to be wasting your time, right? It's like I really need to research Kata. Kata and its benefits versus Docker, because this is a thing. Right. While I'm at it, I really need to catch up on not LVM. Oh God, help me out. KVM. Need to research modern changes to KVM. So KVM is a virtualization platform. So you have virtualization platforms and you have container platforms. They're different. The containers kind of spawned off from the virtualization stuff. Modern changes to KVM. Versus VirtualBox, which we just read, is now going to be included in the Linux distribution. I don't remember which one. Versus VMware, which is proprietary. So this is very fascinating stuff. This looks like we're going to have two virtualization platforms built in to the kernel and or to the system, and it also seems like we have two very reasonable containerizations, and I don't know how compatible Kata is with Docker. If anybody knows, let me know. But this is new news for me, so this gives me something that I need to watch out for. This is how you become prescient. This is how you can see the stuff on the horizon that hasn't really materialized yet, but that is definitely going to. Speaking of which, there's some news that's not in my list here that I found out today. Can you use kata with? I don't know. We have to go research that. That's why we read the news, right? Because now we at least know about it, so we can go research it. Speaking of something I just found out about today, so Seaview, which I talked about in our earlier news, um, is definitely a fork of the TView project, and any of the out there in GoLand know what TView is for sure. But one of the curious things that I discovered from this is I was just looking at it, and I didn't report on it in the earlier news, and I noticed that the last commit said porting to GitLab, and I was like, wait, you're going to port to GitLab? And so I'm not going to cover this in the news today, but I want to tell you I am all in a quandary again, because I constantly go back and forth about whether I should put my primary hosting service should be GitLab or GitHub. But here's where it gets interesting. Thanks for the link. I'll look at that in a second. Here's what gets really interesting. Not to mention, I mean, if you use GitLab just because it has cool icons, I mean, that's almost like a reason enough. But what I found out is that our developer here, I should give him credit. I don't remember his name. His team, Trevor, here he is, was actually over on another service before this, and it was not GitHub. And I was like, what is this thing? So there's a thing called Source. Is it Source Hub? It's not Source Hub. It's, I can't remember it now, and I'm going to have to go look it up. It's in my blog. But it's one of those things I have to look up. That's why I don't know what it is right now. But they decided to move from it over to, I'll just do the blog. They decided to move from this other service yet to be identified, because I can't remember the name. Oh, there it is. SourceHub, sr.ht. sr.ht. Apparently it's this like really, really super cool thing. You know, it's like this Git hosting service. It's entirely open source that you can SSH into your containers. So, I mean, you know, I had no idea it existed until today. That's how, you know, how I am. I just didn't know. I'm trying to find, where's the best link? There's a link that has like the whole thing. And you know, it's rudimentary. And I want to show you that it says that they're just starting, is it just sr.ht? I think it is. So it's SourceHut. It caters to hackers. Why is this a thing? Why are you doing this to me? Save. Fine. It must have had some sort of cached state, and it must have recognized that I was. Is it trying to log me in? I don't want to log in. Yeah, it's got some bugs, because I mean, it looks like it's intercepting. I'm just going to log out. It looks like it's intercepting my thing, and it's not giving me the full page, and now I can't even really. It's not. I mean, I have a feeling this was designed. In fact, it says it has no JavaScript on it, so I'm pretty sure it was designed to be used with links and stuff. So here it is. Here's SourceHut. Here's their nice blog page. sourcehut.org. If you're out there, you got a really cool service. One of the biggest notations on this, and I'm going to make a thing here. I think I already put it in here. But I need to research SourceHut. Actually, I did a lot of research on it today during sessions while they were working. No. And so I don't think I need to do it more. But the interesting value proposition from SourceHut is that they have BSD included in their continuous distribution. And there's a lot of work on this, various Linux distros and BSD. So as far as I know, this is the only Git hosting service that includes CI/CD, continuous integration, continuous delivery for BSD systems. And there's a lot of people like praising them for it. And you can also SSH into the system. So what makes SourceHut unique? And I'll cover this in a comparison video. That was what that blog was about. It looks like that they are, you know, all in the command line. They hate JavaScript, and they are, you know, no tracking or advertising, reliable APIs, webhooks. They are an alpha product. They don't claim to be ready for, you know, prime time. But this is coming over the horizon, and that I like this. This is, you know, some competition for the big boys, right? For GitLab and GitHub. Maybe we meet something else. And we talked about, you know, cgit and git as on-site options as well. So there's a video coming out about that, about all your options for Git source hosting. You don't have to be a web. I am completely in a mess though, because I have gone back and forth with my interest in GitHub and GitLab. I prefer GitLab, but because of, I kind of like threw the towel in this, last month when I wrote an evaluation on this, and I gave up and said, no, GitHub's caught up, and if you want a job, you have to have a profile on GitHub, not GitLab. And then these guys come around, and they're just like thumbing their nose at the whole thing, and they're like we don't care, Not only did we not have GitHub before, but we had this. So I feel like I've been influenced by that. These people are very intelligent. They they've made a really sound decision about their hosting service, and they're like, I don't care what other people think about me not having GitHub. I don't care that people aren't going to be able to do pull requests against my GitLab because they're going to be too bothered to go add a GitLab account. I don't care that it's owned by Microsoft. I don't care about any of that. I don't care that there's only 800,000 users on GitLab currently and there's 10 million plus on GitHub. I don't care. I don't care that recruiters aren't going to find me automatically with their really intense machine learning that identifies how all the good programmers and sends, top secret reports to people who can pay the highest top dollar, which I know because I had somebody who's an executive tell us about how they recruit. And so, this company is just like, I don't care. I don't care that somebody might not pick my package because it's hosted on GitLab. And so putting import GitLab whatever is going to cause, grief and pain and fear. And so seeing a company like this, seeing somebody as smart as the people who did this CView product do this and just kind of thumb their nose at the whole thing, and then seeing that Eric S. Raymond is also hosting all of his work on GitLab, seeing that the entire GNOME project is over there, has caused me to, and Raritan even from our chat, discovering all these incredibly amazing technologists, and both veterans and people that are just starting out who are very discerning in their technology tastes, decide to say, I don't care, I'm using it anyway. And I have been that person, and I thought, I'm doing a disservice to the people in my community by using GitLab because they're not going to be found as easily and they won't get jobs as easily. And that is a false premise in my view today. So as of this moment, I am back to putting, hey Frostbites, I'm back to putting everything on GitLab. And I'm really bothered by that because I just finished an entire repo API for doing automated, tagging and publishing and cloning and everything for GitHub. I had to redo it anyway because I did use it using the REST API and not the GraphQL API. So this way, I will actually learn the GitLab GraphQL API and do that, and create an integration tool using repo that will do both GitHub and GitLab, and will actually with one command migrate between the two from the command line. So I've always wanted to be able to do that, but I also wanted to know what other hosting services I might need to support eventually, such as Git or just Git by itself. And now I've got SourceHut to consider as well. And this is the reason that I don't use Hut. Hut is a program in Python that allows you to manage your GitHub, or Hub, sorry, the Hub your product. All right, back to the news. So, pen testing, I think we already looked at that one. Oh, hey, there's Andrew Yen. Why is this pulling up? Oh, this by the way, this TED Talk, I'm going to put a link in the chat. This is mandatory viewing. I really think everybody should see this. He talks about privacy. He talks about how they came at CERN to be interested in creating Proton Mail and all of that. But that's just news. I'm just going to refer to that. All right, back to the news. I want to get through this. Hey, Zorchenheimer's, he's so much fun to watch. You guys might want to go watch him if you want to see some assembly for NES sometime. GraphQL. What is GraphQL? Frostbites, we'll talk about GraphQL in a separate post. It's the most important API standard in existence, and if you don't know it, you can't call yourself a back-end programmer these days. So it replaces Rust entirely with a single query. That's why it's got QL in the name. So generating canonical URLs, this thread keeps going on. My Twitch export succeeded. I thought I already covered that. What is this doing to me? Oh, I was leaving it as a reminder. Okay, so let's go back to VirtualBox is going to be on Linux. Let's see. Sorry, I got to scratch my nose. Let's see. Debian images released as the latest patch is rolled out. Okay, that's nice. New Debian coming out. Not going to read more on that. Debian 10.3 released with many security bugs and fixes. Well, that's probably worth looking at. I wonder how soon that's going to hit Ubuntu. Because reasons. Sigma Theory, Global Cold War launch trailer to Sigma Theory. How is this? PC, Mac? What is this? I don't even need to click on that. I'm not interested. All right, hacking. This has always got lots of stuff on it. I'm going to zoom through it. Can all of Bitcoin be hacked? Yes, it can. End of story. Is 51% attack. End of conversation. Nobody should use Bitcoin. The end. If you don't believe me, look it up. Israeli army, Hamas hackers tried to seduce soldiers. What? Super fascinating, but I'm not looking at that. For disinformation to hackers, from disinformation to hackers, new cyber navigator racing to protect Minnesota's 2020 elections. That's not news. I mean, it's maybe specific, but everything is hackable, of course. Florida dad will remain in jail on charges of hacking girls. Oh, that's not the kind of hacking that we want to look at all. Twitter says Olympics IOC accounts hacked. Well, yeah. Because they already, I mean, everything is hacked. Did I not tell you already this search result is usually like 20 things? They've been hacked. We have a massive problem in our world. Defy setback. Hackers cart away with $350K after tricking Fulcrum protocol. Holy cow. FC Barcelona official tweet HackSees Group claim that it looks like Neymar will be back. It's a Forbes thing. And that's the Barcelona Olympics again. The Barcelona and the Olympics. Okay. Prosecutor John Durham, examining interagency turf war over Obama emails hacked by Russia. That's interesting. Twitter is ridiculously. They just got hacked again. Yeah. I had a kid come in today. He just had his bank account frozen because it got hacked, because his Minecraft account got hacked, and then his Gmail got hacked. It happens. I don't know how many times some of them have to go through this. And these people aren't even doing anything wrong or bad. They're not even coming up on anybody's hacker radar. It's just like they're getting hacked. And a girl just yesterday came in and she said, my Minecraft got hacked and now my name is frozen because they just changed my name. Every week, out of the 40 people I have, about half of them get hacked every week in some way. And over Christmas, I got hacked on Amazon. And I'll talk about it later, but it was largely because I was lazy with my phone number, and I let my phone number go away. And so someone picked up my phone number and wherever, and they played around with me and bought Mortal Kombat and returned it. It was scary, and it was stupid of me to do it. So we have to be paying more attention to cybersecurity and fighting against it. These violations. IoT cryptocurrency shuts down entire network after a wallet hack. Do I have to say any more that cryptocurrencies are, you just want to run screaming away from them? You just stay away. Stay away. This is just news, Frostbites. Yes, for right now. I'm almost done. Okay, so Western governors, what we got new? I bet it's a bunch of people who got jobs. Integration, 77th anniversary. The nonprofit fully accredited online university is opting 50 scholarships. Wow, this is news. This is notable news. Let's see, awarding to honor its 7th anniversary, February 15th in Montana, I think, is celebrating MGU's Missouri, 7th anniversary. The nonprofit fully accredited online university is offering 50 scholarships. This sounds like a press release to me, but oh well. Valued at $7,000 each to new students interested in furthering their education. You know, I started out super duper skeptical of that organization, and I see nothing but positive stuff coming from them. Healthcare management, yes, okay. San Antonio College partners with Utah College, okay. UNCG associate professor among 7 candidates running for NC State superintendent. This is the one I was talking about. I was talking about this morning, that it was kind of coincidental. I live in North Carolina, and I saw this and I was like, wait, that's WGU. So the new person who's taking over leadership, the 7 candidates hoping to become the next state. Mark Johnson is not him. The this means 5. Where is it? Let me go see if I can read it. Meet the candidates. Okay, Horn Truitt is a former K through 12 teacher who was Governor Pat McCrory's education advisor. Goodbye. Oh God, really, Truitt? Now you're really scaring me. You were working with McCrory. You were working with that corrupt piece of. I mean, seriously, I can't. This is scaring me now, because this person was in charge of WGU, at least in North Carolina. And that means that that person is absolutely corrupt, because McCrory has been convicted. I mean, I don't think he's been convicted, but he's been run up on charges. He's done all kinds of stuff. We have a really crappy toll lane that some contract was sold to a contractor in Brazil or something like that, and there was definitely money changing hands. So, no. Yeah, this scares me, because this is the person who was over the WGU program in North Carolina. You can probably have isolated cases where people are corrupt, but I want to believe WGU is not corrupt. And now I'm like really suspicious of this individual. So anyway, let's go back, because they would associate himself with that person. Pat McCrory is one of the worst, most corrupt politicians that has ever lived. So, all right, next. I gotta wrap up here soon. I'm gonna scroll through a little bit faster than usual, since I'm gonna limit my time here. Corruption is power. It is. It's really sad how much corruption there is everywhere. And yeah, even locally, there's been cases of stuff being local. I have to be careful what I say, I think, on these stream, because it is public. So I suppose that can qualify as slander if I don't have evidence of it. But my opinion is, and Colbert dances around this topic all the time. He goes, allegedly, and all that stuff. So cybersecurity, this will probably be fun. The cybersecurity search always comes back with a bunch of empty stuff, like really lame stuff. Cybersecurity and financial services, satellites turned into deadly weapons could be space cybersecurity nightmare. Well, yeah, okay. This is just FUD to sell something. Airports Council International launches cybersecurity handbook. That's nice. Okay, they're making a handbook about it, how to deal with it. The coronavirus concerns, cybersecurity, blah, blah, blah. Yep, there's a lot of stuff coming out related to coronavirus. Cybersecurity author Richard Stenen, I should probably know him, publishes new book chronicling history of IT security. Well, let's see. Maybe that's a book I should look at. Probably an advertisement. Oh, well, can't open your book, so bye-bye. If you don't know how to use the web and make good web services, I'm not buying your book. Submit 7 announcements, CMC compliance solutions for the defense industry base. No, I'm not interested. It sounds interesting, but not enough. Yeah, iPad and Google Forms set to be used in Nevada caucus. That's going to be horrible. I thought they ordered that to not be used. I thought they decided they weren't going to use it. That was the whole failure. They're trying to use the same app from that failed company. This is scary. Did they just, no, this is local news. They probably don't know what they're talking about. In order to avoid an caucus repeat, the Nevada, this is a big one because they were using the same software. Ditched the app, okay. Used and opted for iPads instead, preloaded with Google Forms. Oh my God. I'm so glad I opened this. You see this? Do you see this? Nevada said, oh, we're not going to use that app. We're going to use iPads with Google Forms. Our caucuses. Watch him start using Google Forms for our national elections. Oh my God. Oh, we're not going to survive this, people. We're not going to survive this. Okay, so this is another one that was totally worth finding that I was like, well, maybe this is interesting. Let's see what we got here. You have caucus volunteers. Imagine that. Just picture that for a second. And by the way, people who volunteer to help at elections, that whole group of people, they need training. And now they're like, no, we know Google Forms. We're just going to put at the bottom of all their caucus things, it's like, brought to you by Google Forms. Not to mention Google's sitting back with the popcorn. Ooh, let's see what's going on here. Oh, that made my night. Good job, Las Vegas. Oh. It's like, let's see if we can do worse than the Iowa caucus. Oh no, we're going to use proven technology. I'm sorry, I can't stop. At least you can't throw Google under the bus when it doesn't work. Because that's what they did with that other company. Oh, it's their fault. It's not our fault. Google's... what is this going on? I got to make sure we watch this. I really got to make sure we watch this. Oh, this is going to be so funny. Early caucus votes begin February 15th. So what date is it? It's the 16th. Oh man, I gotta watch that one. Like, oh, that's gonna be so funny. It'll probably work just fine. Oh, there hasn't been any incidents, and Google has been very good and forthcoming about the results and helping us out. Of course they are. They're mining all the fucking results before they get to anybody. Oh my god, people. Oh my god, people. Oh, what kind of world do we live in? I mean, really. Back to the news. All right, I've got my composure back. Oh, that was worth it. Wait. I didn't bookmark that. I gotta make sure to bookmark that. Okay. I mean, do they not have even one technologist in the whole place who knows that that's a bad idea? How stupid are we, people? I mean, seriously. How stupid do we have to be to allow that sort of thing to happen? Seriously, is there not one person at Google who has the ethics to say this is a bad idea? This is a conflict of interest. No. They're doing it. I bet you they didn't even talk to a Google person. I bet you they're just doing it, and Google's like, oh crap. It's like, but they don't have the heart to call them and say, you do not have time to do this because it's like now. So they threw the app out. They didn't have time to make a new app. They're like, we're not going to call it in. What are you talking about? That's old tech. So what instead they do, they say, well, we're just going to go Google Forms because we can do that from our iPads. So they're like the fastest thing they can pull together without even talking to Google about it because they're in reactionary mode the whole time. Oh, you people. Okay. I'm done. But that's the kind of thing. That's why I'm doing this news. So we can laugh together, hopefully. Hopefully we can laugh and cry. But I need to bookmark this. This is going to become a subject for our nightly walk with the dog in about an hour. Speaking of which, I need to eat dinner. So if I have more than like 3 or 4 of these, I got to go. But that's it. The last part of the news was a very negative that I left on. And now I left on an extremely positive note. I'm just going to go through here. Okay. Mercyhurst training students on new front lines. That's cool. Bureau of Labor Statistics projects 32% of hiring positions. This has got a good stat in it, so let's read it. You've heard me talking about Bureau of Labor and Statistics stats before. They're generally the best ones we have, I think. And then here it says, blah, blah, blah. We're training on front lines of cybersecurity. We're really cool. We enrolled 60, okay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, U.S. Bureau of Labor and Statistics projects 32% growth in hiring between 2018 and 22. That's, and according to a report from IBM, the average advertised salary for a cybersecurity job is $93,000. You know what? That's exactly what I put in my document that I went over with y'all on the path to full stack. Cybersecurity and web developer are not only the two highest paying jobs that take the least amount of education to get a job in tech, but they are like among the top 5 or 10 of all jobs. So if you want a good job, and you want to go to school for the least amount of time, cybersecurity and web development, those are the two. And they people keep throwing out the data science one too, but I haven't seen the statistics on that yet. The only people who have said data science is going to be a thing is LinkedIn, and they did their big fancy survey, which is crap because it's completely based on LinkedIn numbers. It's not based on any actual surveying of the population. So you should throw it out. I don't care how pretty it is. And so let's see here. It's like this. What am I doing here? Okay, so that's the end of one. We got rid of that one. These other ones should probably be pretty small. Well, that's the one I just deleted, right? Financial services, you can go away. Offensive security usually has some good hits. Let's take a peek. Global application security software market projected to witness robust development. Well, yeah, This is a this article is, I've talked about this before. This is the numbers, the statistics are staggering about the increased need for cybersecurity people. And there's actually a couple surveys. It looks like this might be it. You might have to pay for that. I bet you anything we have to pay. Yeah, this is one of those companies that sells really high-end research data for like top dollar. Yep, can't even get it. Probably like a $5,000 document. So I don't even think you need that. There's corporate people who pay big money to be prescient, but I'm telling you, if you do what I'm doing and you do the searches and you listen to the right people, you don't need the big fancy corporate person to tell you that. In fact, you could make those reports, and in many ways, I'm making those reports for you. So let's see, parse error. We're going to delete that. Now, I'm a little afraid to open this. I hope it's not being trolled. Ethereum is spelt wrong. You spelt it as Ethereum. Oh yes, this is true. When the correct spelling is Ethereum, please change it. Okay, thank you for that. That was, sometimes people really troll me in my anonymous comments. Thank you for the follow, Crones. I'm going to close that. Current mood. No, I'm going to close that to Reddit. Vet, unsafe pointers. We're not going to do that. Tesla, let's just look at this one. This is an enterprise rag. It's one of the only enterprise rags I subscribe to because it's local. But half the stuff is just marketing stuff. Tesla will sell new shares to raise blah. Channel advisor 6x Wall Street. It's always businessy. CEO boasts strong. The reason I know they're clueless is they were talking up Epic like crazy. CEO boasts strong quarter with results because they're local. North State shoulders sign off. Blah blah blah. LabCorp. This rag, the WRAL, all it does is promote the region. Every single article it writes is basically making an argument for why their region is awesome and why you should move there. And so I'm actually thinking about just dropping it. It's a really biased, like marketing sort of driven thing. Let's see, infrastructure as a newsletter. This is something we might want to read. This is DigitalOcean. They have a lot of good stuff. I'm going to save and go through that maybe next week. Can't wait to March 31st. What's that? What's on March 31st, guys? What's going on March 31st with Mr. Robot? Are they messing with us? Wait, what's going on? March 31st, they're going to release all the discs with the gag reel and deleted scenes. What? Oh, that is definitely good news.
Are you done?
I'm going to have to go get that. I'm not done. No, sorry. Oh, we can all hear that meeting. They're eating dinner without me because I'm a bad man. So I'm closing this and I'm going to go through this. So that stays. And I almost got through the most ones. How much more we got? Yeah, we got through most of them. Okay, so I think the rest we can get rid of. I'm just going to open Golang real quick. Endpoints, so that's not a thing. I think we're about done, people, for this month. For this week, week 6. I'll be doing one of these every week. In fact, this highlight will be part of 2 for the week. I might have to do 2 parts for the news because it does take a while to go through it. I hope it doesn't take 2 hours every time. But that's, not unusual for me to read that much during a weekend. ARM64 on Raspberry Pi. Ooh, nice. With Go. Okay, I'm going to read that one later. Former Nike exec is president of Carry. Blah, blah, blah. That's what I'm telling you about. I work for Nike. Important message about League of Marketers. Nope. Problems with the AWS. Oh, that's them telling me that my account, that they charge me 50 cents every time. And my credit card doesn't work because it's a really old one. So I have to go close that out. I need to, they don't, every time they don't fix it. I have a BS in computer science. What should I do? I download free Emacs cheat sheet. No way. Looking for some nicely broken image files. Nope. Go 1.13.8 and 1. Oh, okay, that's good news. 1.13.8 was released. We should read the release notes on that. Let me just read those really quick. And I just want to see if there's anything special. Minor release notes. It's probably nothing. Let's see, minor revisions, security fixes, net HTTP, security fixes to go. Minor. Okay, so nothing major there. That's good. Good to know. They have not released 1.14 because they had a bunch of problems with their pre-release. The performance really slowed down. Another one of these stupid, you know what? I'm going to unsubscribe later. I'm tired of that thing. Title page background ignored in Pandoc. Firefox 73 stopped insecure downloads. Nope. Insecure downloads. CSS4. I might have to look at that one later. Go nuts. Checking in 2 variables. Boys for Gross. Chapel Hill EdTech startup. I need to read that one too. But I don't need to do this on the stream. I think we covered the main things. Oh, I gotta update my Proton Mail account number. That's why I forgot about that. Okay, so there we are. That's the end of the news for this week, week 6. Thanks for tuning in. I will be back on after I walk the dog and eat dinner. I'll be coding. I'm trying to decide whether I probably, if I can focus, I want to focus on the GraphQL API for GitLab for a bit, and then I also want to write my Pandoc cruncher so I can update my websites because they're really out of date. And that will be it. Yeah, we might talk about Zappo too a little bit. I want to see where you're at on that. All right, Frostbites guys, we'll see you later.